Welcome to the second part of the module 2 of theory of computation. In this we will study the second type of finite automata, that is non-deterministic finite automata. Given in this slide is an example of non-deterministic finite automata. The automata starts at the initial state q0 and the final state of it is q2. What makes it finite automata is two things. There are two choices from q0, that is delta q0a goes to q1 as well as delta q0a goes to q3, and there are no transitions defined for the states q2 and q3. Consider the example of a string AA. Let us start at q0. q0, if it takes the first choice, q0 on encountering a goes to q. q1 on encountering the next a goes to q2. As the input is fully consumed and we are currently at the final state, the string is accepted. Let's see what happens if we have taken the second choice. Of the second choice, q0 on encountering a moves to q3, and from q3 there are no transitions defined and the input string is not fully consumed. Hence, the automaton halts and the string is rejected. So the condition of an NFA accepting a string is, if there is a computation path of the NFA that accepts the string, then we say that the NFA accepts the string. So there are two conditions which we should check. They are, that is, all the symbols of the input string are processed and then we are in an accepting state. This tells you a summary of both the choices which we have encountered, the accept choice and the reject choice. Another example, that is A. The string consists of only a single symbol A. q0 on encountering A, what happens? If we move through the first choice, delta q0a on reaching q1, the string is finished and it is in a non-final state, hence the string is rejected. See what happens if we take the second choice. The second choice, that is q0 on encountering A, moves to q3. The string is finished but still q3 is not a non-final state. So hence it is rejected. Consider another example. The input string consists of A. Let us take the first choice. q0 on encountering A reaches q1. On encountering A reaches q2. From the q2, transitions are not defined and the string is not completely finished. Hence, the automaton halts and the string is rejected. Now let us see what happens with the second choice. Take the second choice, q0 on encountering A reaches q3. From q3, no transitions are defined. Hence, the automaton halts and the string is rejected. Whereas, a NFA rejects a string if there is no computation of the NFA that accepts the string. For each possible computation path, remember, all the input is consumed and the automaton is in a non-accepting state, or the input cannot be consumed. In such a scenario, a NFA rejects a string. Of the first example which we have. This is the summary of the second example which we have seen, which also, after taking both the choice, lead to rejection. Conclude, the language accepted by this particular NFA which we have defined in the beginning is only AA. Now let us see the epsilon transitions in NFA which are defined as the epsilon NFA. So in this diagram you can see an epsilon transition between q1 and q2. Epsilon transition means that you do not change, you do not consume any input but you change state. So that is, the head is remaining stationary but still it is changing state. See what happens with the string AA. It starts with q0, encountering the A, moves to q1. Without consuming any input, as there is an epsilon transition, it changes state to q2. On encountering the symbol A, reaches q3. As the input is consumed and q3 is a final state, the string AA is. Consider another example of the string AAA. It starts at q. On encountering A, reaches q1. Without consuming any input, q1 on epsilon transition moves to q2. q2 on encountering A moves to q3, but at q3 there are no further transitions defined as the input is not fully consumed, the string AAA is rejected. So henceforth, the language accepted by this epsilon NFA is AA. Consider another example of epsilon NFA. In your diagram, you can see two transitions, two epsilon transitions. Let the input string be AB. We'll start at the initial state. On encountering A, reaches Q1. Q1 on encountering B moves to Q2 and the string is consumed fully, and Q2 is a final state, hence the string is accepted. Now let us consider another string AB. Starting from Q0. Q0 on encountering A reaches Q1. Q1 on encountering B reaches Q2. From Q2 there are epsilon transitions. So as the string is not completed, these epsilon transitions are processed. Q2 on an epsilon move reaches Q3. Q3 again on an epsilon move reaches. Now the symbol A is consumed by Q0. Q0 on encountering A goes to Q1, on encountering B goes to Q2. Again it is the end of the string and Q2 is a final state, hence the string is accepted. Hence this NFA accepts a string which is of the form AB followed by AB the whole star. This is yet another example of the epsilon NFA, where you can see an epsilon transition from Q0 to epsilon. Try to find out like what is the transition or what is the type of language accepted by this epsilon NFA. Language accepted by this epsilon NFA is 10 the whole star. Why do we have NFAs, or why are NFAs more interesting is because they give us more freedom than DFAs. They can express language easier than DFA. For example, to look at the diagram, a simple language says A, which is to be accepted. I can draw it in two ways using an NFA and a DFA. You can see the diagram of DFA is complicated, whereas the transition graph of NFA is very simple. Normal definition of NFA is defined as a phi tuple, that is Q sigma delta Q0F, where Q is the set of state, input alphabet is sigma, delta is the transition function which is defined as Q cross sigma union lambda, that is lambda is the epsilon and Q0 is the initial state and F is the accepting state. So for the transition function we take the input as well as the epsilon. So Q cross sigma union lambda will map to the power set of Q, that is 2 raised to Q. Let us have a more closer look at the transition function of the NFA, that is delta Q of X is possible to be mapped to any one of the states starting from say Q1, Q2, Qk. The resulting stage reached by any of these transitions is formally represented in the diagram. Example, delta Q01, we have only one transition for the input symbol 1, so delta Q01 is equal to, what happens for delta Q10? There are two possibilities. You can see the yellow lines. Q10, there are two options. One, it goes to Q0, the other it goes to Q2. Therefore, we write it as delta Q10 is equal to Q0 Q2. See, what is delta Q0 epsilon? Delta Q0 epsilon is equal to Q, and delta Q21 is a transition which is not defined, hence we write it as null set. Let us see what are the extended transition functions. Extended transition functions are represented as delta star, but they are similar to delta, but only the difference is they are applied on strings. Symbol, we will write the string AA. So let us see what happens for delta star Q0AA. Delta star Q0AA. So one option is Q0 on encountering A reaches Q1. From Q1, it encountering the second A, it reaches Q4. So one of the component fixed is Q4. Now another option is Q0 on encountering A reaches Q1. Q1 on encountering A reaches Q5. So therefore there are two possibilities for delta star Q0AA, which is Q4 and Q5. What is the delta star of Q0 A, B? There are three states possible, that is Q2, Q3, Q0, as you can see from the diagram. So in general I can write it as Qj is an element of delta star Qiw, means there is a walk from Qi to Qj with label W. That is, W is a string. It consists of a collection of symbols, say sigma 1, sigma 2 up to sigma k. So you start at Qi and finally when your string is consumed you reach as Qj. It is diagrammatically represented by these transition graphs. Language accepted by a NFA M is given as L of M is equal to W1, W2, Wn. Now what is this Wm? For each Wm you have a delta star which is defined as delta star Q0 Wm. That is, it starts from the initial state and it moves through a set of states which is given by Qi, Qk, Qj, etc. such that Qk is an element of it. That is, one of it is a accepting state. Whatever we have seen in the previous slide is a diagrammatically represented. So there are a number of walks possible in the NFA, of which one of the walks will take you to the final state Qk. Correlating with the example which we have drawn earlier, delta star Q0 AA, our output is Q4 and Q5, of which Q5 is an element of F. For another string AB, we have the outputs defined as Q2, Q3, Q0, of which Q0 is an element of the string ABAA, which takes you to two possible options, Q4 and Q5, of which Q5 is a final state. Another example is the string ABA, which is equal to Q1, which is not a final state, hence the string is not accepted. So to conclude, the NFA can be thought of as accepting the language which is a union of two cases. One is AB the whole star union AB the whole star followed by AA. Language accepted by the finite automata are called regular languages. Hence, whatever the NFAs accept are referred to as regular languages. Equivalence of machines, that is, a machine M1 is equivalent to machine M2 if the languages accepted by both of them are. Find out the equivalence of the two machines familiar to us, that is NFA and DFA. Now this is an example which we have drawn for the situation 1, 0 the whole star. So the first NFA accepts this situation, DFA also accepts this. So we have to prove that these two are equivalent. The language accepted by NFA is equal to regular languages, which is the same as the language accepted by the DFAs. They have the same computation power for both the finite automatas. They accept the same set of languages. This is the equivalence of NFA and DFA. Let us see the conversion of an NFA to a DFA. We have given an NFA, you have to convert it into DFA. We always have to start with the initial state. So the DFA will always take the same initial state Q0. Let us see what happens for Q0A. Q0, if you look at the diagram, you can see Q0 on encountering A, it goes to Q1. As Q1 has an epsilon transition, it goes to Q2 as well as. So there are two possibilities, Q1, Q2. So we merge Q1, Q2 and write it as a singleton set. So Q0 on encountering A moves to Q1, Q2. Happens for Q0B. The transition Q0B is not defined, hence we make the transition to a null state, which is a trap state. Now our new state is Q1, Q2. So we have to find out what happens for Q1, Q2A transition. So what you are supposed to do is you have to find out what happens for delta star Q1A, what happens for delta star Q2A, and take a union of that. So on taking a union, you will see it again results in Q1, Q2, hence we loop it. So what happens for the B transition on Q1, Q2? So I take delta star Q1B, which is equal to Q0. I take delta star Q2B, which is also again equal to Q0. I do a union of both, which results in Q0. Hence delta Q1 Q2B is equal to Q0. On completing the trap state, I loop A and B to the trap state itself. We have to mark the final states. So in the initial diagram of NFA, what was the final state? It was Q1. So wherever Q1 we encounter Q1, it is a final state. So in the diagram we have Q1, Q2 which is marked as the final state. So to summarize the conversion procedure steps formally, the step 1 is where you will take the initial state of NFA as the initial state of DFA itself. That is Q0 remains in second state. For every DFA state we have to compute in the NFA delta star Q1A, Qja, Qma, and you have to do a union and take that transition as adding to the DFA. That is delta of Qi, Qj up to Qm comma A is equal to the union of all these things. In step 3, you have to repeat the step 2 for every state in DFA and symbols in alphabet until we don't have any more new states in the given DFA. Now in the last step, that is for any DFA state, which is if some Q of j is accepting state in NFA, then Qi, Qj of Qm is an accepting state in DFA. With this we come to the end of the part 2 of module 2.